Hey there, this is your pal Pallie, and welcome back to Overrated. This is episode number 32, and you may have been sent here by someone talking about raid help, or you may be just following the series Overrated. But regardless, welcome, and today I'm going to be talking about a big announcement, a big service, a big thing that I'm going to try to roll out very soon. So, what I am looking to do, because I talked about community, because I talked about wanting to give back and service and all the other kind of fun stuff, I want to be your raid doctor. I want to help you out in whatever situation your raid finds itself into. So if you're having problems downing a boss, or changing strategies, or if there's guild stuff, or raid management and composition and that kind of stuff, I'm here to help you. And who am I? If you have not yet followed this series or know who I am, well, I am Pallie from TankSpot and from a number of other places, Catalyst Gaming Media, etc., etc. I put out raid guides for all of the current bosses, the Siege of Orgrimmar, all that other jazz. I'm doing that for a while. Been a raid leader for quite a bit of time as well. I'm not currently, but I have quite a bit of experience. And I am currently 14 out of 14 heroic. Yay! It's another announcement for those of you actually following the series. Yay, I finally downed Garrosh on heroic. Cool stuff. What I'm not is that elitist person who is going for world first or realm first or all of that kind of stuff. So, if you're looking for those, like, you know, edge of the tippy top whatever strategies from me, you're not going to get it, at least not for a few months. So here it is, 7, 8 months, maybe 9 into Siege of Orgrimmar, and I'm just now at heroic Garrosh and killing him. Now, of course, there are many factors that go into that, whether I kill him earlier or later. A lot of it has to do with raiding schedule and all that other kind of stuff. I am a family man. I do like to do stuff other than WoW, and I raid at current moment 7.5 hours. I have raided as much as 20 hours at a time. So, yeah, I have quite a bit of that experience. And what I feel like my strong suit is analyzing raids and figuring out what happened after the fact, or even sometimes being able to adjust things on the fly. So, what does this all mean? Why am I giving all this spiel? Well, what I really wanted to talk about, what I really wanted to do, was be a raid doctor, be a raid fixer-upper, so to speak. And this is coming together. And there will be, I'm going to put lots of stuff in the description of this YouTube video. So if you're watching it on somewhere else, check out the actual YouTube video on YouTube, and there may be more stuff in the description. At the present moment, I'm going to give like how to contact me and how to get things going if you want help with your raid. But this will hopefully explode and evolve, and there'll be lots of other fancy ways to do so. So, at the present moment, what I want to do is if you have a question, if you have a raid analysis type thing that you want done, I'm going to say this first, and then we'll talk about what I can do. Pallie at TankSpot. So Pallie, register at tankspot.com, send me a private message, and we'll go from there. There will be other places, like I'm sure I'm going to get the catalystgamingmedia.com. I'm going to set up a forum or private message box there too. I am GitErRaid, GitErRaid, over there at catalystgamingmedia.com, their forums. So either place, hit me up with a private message. That's the current method. If there's more stuff in the description about, hey, now you can go here, look at that stuff. But what am I talking about? What am I talking about with respect to raid doctors? Well, if you're having a problem down on a boss, if you're having problems getting the raid together, if it's a group composition of things, what I want to do is help people through those things. I want to get into what's going on and give advice and send you to the right places and whatever. So, how could that be done? Well, a number number of different ways. So, for example, probably one of the best ways for it to happen is if you have someone raid streaming or taking video footage of your wipes and all, and how your guild is raiding. That would be the easiest way for me to actually watch what's going on. Preferably if you have a ranged or a healer class, that would be like, oh my god, ideal, so I can see more of the picture, as opposed to if it's a tank, it's like, well, here's the boss. But, whatever. I'll work with whatever I can. So if you have footage like that, then I can take a look at it and can talk about what's going on, etc., etc. So that's sort of one way to go about it. And again, we'll talk in private messages. We'll figure out what we can do. Another thing would be for me to look into your warcraftlogs.com or your worldoflogs.com stuff and say, hey, look, a bunch of people are dying to this. A bunch of people are... This seems to be a problem. Your raid DPS is this. Usually kills are doing like this. So it's just sort of I can go into logs. Now, what I can't do is tell every one of your raiders how to play their class better. I can certainly do that for some classes, like Ret Pallie, Hunter, Prot Pallie, Healing Pallie. Those are the, classes I really know well at this point. I can certainly get advice for you from other places and other resources, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I'm not going to be able to say, hey, your fire mage is not doing this right, or they need to respec into this kind of stuff. I can dig and find some of that stuff for you, but I'll probably most likely point you to direct forums if you're looking to fix a particular raider's DPS or whatever. I'm more looking at this as a holistic, like, your raid is here, they need to get here. Here's some advice on how to get from here to here. That kind of stuff. So, again, logs, videos, those would be ideal. I'm certainly willing to just continue conversations through private messages, and which go to my email, so I'll be getting lots of email and responding to it, etc., etc. And even, like, if you just want to hop on Vent or a TeamSpeak or something like that, invite me to your TeamSpeak and Vent, and just hang out for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, talk about the issues, and then that's it. We go over something, and I give some advice, and off you go. Perfectly valid way for it to happen as well. So, many ways this can happen. Many things to do, many things to talk about. So, why am I doing this? Well, so a couple episodes ago, if you're keeping up with this overrated series and you're not just here because someone sent you, it's like, hey, which I'm going to advertise stuff in trade chat, so maybe you saw that. But anyway, or a retweet from somewhere, something like that. A couple episodes ago on this series, I talked about, I'm a, whatever, I don't know if you want to call it top 5% or something like that. But I'm in a guild and I've killed Heroic Garrosh, and that's sort of an achievement that's been done by only, currently as of mid-July. It was currently only done by about 4% of the raiding population of raiding guilds. Again, you can argue the numbers or whatever. So I'm up there, so to speak. But there are so many people downloading my videos for guides and stuff, and, like, my top videos are not, like, Heroic Garrosh or Paragons of Claxi Heroic or any of that kind of stuff. It's those fights earlier on that people are working through and whatnot. And, the guides are one piece, but, I feel like I can do more. And certainly, you can get this sort of advice by going to, MMO champion forums or TankSpot or other places and, posting a help me type thread. And you'll get a variety of responses and maybe some good stuff, maybe some, not useful stuff. But I feel like I want to make more direct connections with raid leaders or raid strategists or just people concerned about their raid, so that I can work sort of more one-on-one and get you exactly where you need to go and point you in the right direction, or give some specific advice on, well, try this strategy. Well, that's not working. Okay, why is it not working? well, you know, and get into it more. So it's almost like a building a clientele kind of service, and all of this, you know, free. I'm you know, starting this from scratch. You know, if someday this blows into, you know, amazing amount of people that are wanting this, and you know, I need to set up a website and all this other stuff. Maybe it isn't free or something at some point. But at this point, I want to give back more to the community and sort of get this stuff going. So yeah, you know, hit me up and let's talk. You know, no skin off my nose other than the time I spent. And of course, if I do get a lot of requests, maybe I take on some more people who want to help, and maybe you want to volunteer to assist with types of requests. If down the road this becomes a big deal, this becomes a huge thing. So, anywho, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm really hopping. I'm really excited about all this because, you know, this isn't a sort of new idea, and this is maybe not necessarily it's not necessarily a new idea, or maybe it's a new twist, whatever. But there has been people in the past, and some people have, you know, commented on my videos before on this series and said, hey, this other guy used to sort of dig into raids problems, or point out people's, you know, problems with rotations if they took a video and all that kind of stuff, and you know, that sounded great, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who, you know, got some valuable advice over there. But I want to like more formalize it and get it together and organize and see where I can go with this. You know, it's the same type of analysis that I'm doing on myself. And if you've been in my series, if you watch some of these series, you see that I do these deep dives. And those are all about me watching myself playing the game and going, wow, I just did this, and this. That really hurt my DPS, or why didn't I cast that spell to heal the tank? Crap, look what happened after that and how it cascaded. And just stuff like that. I've been doing it on myself, and there's probably certainly more things and more pieces of advice that I could give out to everyone else. And again, I'm not the world first guy, so you're not going to get, you know, here's the strategy for such and such boss that came out a week ago. You're not going to get that from me. But I feel like I can serve, you know, people who are working on, I mean, even Heroic Garrosh, but all the way to Flex Immersius or something, and go, yeah, you know, here's, you guys have just started raiding. Let me give you some simple advice on how to sort of organize and get together, and how to set up a time schedule, and just, you know, just stuff like that. And I know a lot of people who are viewing this are going to be like, whatever. I mean, I know how to raid lead, and etc. But what I would challenge you to do is, if you see someone in need of advice, and you know, you don't have the time, or you're just like, yeah, you know, whatever, noobs, think of me and think of directing them to me. Again, Pallie at TankSpot, because there are just so many people who don't know that they can go to MMO Champion and post and get advice. They can go to TankSpot, and if they're having Prot Warrior, Prot Paladin, whatever, there's Main Tankadin for Prot Paladins. There's all these sites, and Shadow Priests are over here, and just all of that stuff that is there for consumption, but people just don't know it's there yet. And, you know, just some of the interactions that I've had with people in the past from the shows and just out there, it's just like, there's a ton of people who are raiding, and they're in this section, but there's so much more to the WoW population, and there's so many people just getting going, and everyone's playing the same game, but they may be doing it completely different, and there's so many experiences, and there's so many strategies for raids, and how to run things, and et cetera, et cetera. And so I just like to get myself out there and start digging into raid problems, and just do my, you know, slight little part to help the community grow, help things get going, and whatever else. Maybe I'll burn myself out and whatnot, but I really like this type of stuff, which is why I like the raid strategy guides. I drive all of the guilds that I go to. In terms of, I've been raid leader for so long and all that kind of stuff, and then I had to move guilds a couple times due to circumstances. Again, look back in later or earlier episodes for why, but anywhere I seem to end up, I'm always like posting on the guild forums like, hey, we did this, this, and this. Let's try this next time. Or what about this? And I was noticing in the logs, I'm sure I drive some raid leaders nuts, but again, I like doing that stuff. I like seeing what's going on and helping and contributing. So here's my contribution to the community. And I would really appreciate if you're watching this and, again, you've got things together for the most part, you think things are going on, but I would really appreciate like a retweet of the video or, post this somewhere to be like, hey, check out this guy. He's, offering free raid advice, and, head on over to TankSpot or Catalyst Gaming Media and look up this guy because, he's pretty decent guy. He's got cats. No, I don't have cats in the background. There's cat up there. But hey, pretty nice guy, gives some good raid advice, makes some guides, helps out, etc., etc. And again, I just want to give back in that sense. And so this is my first foray into it. And so again, would appreciate some help in the sense of getting the word out. If you see anyone who's struggling, or if you're in OQ or something and you're in a Flex 2 and the raid leader's like, man, we're still stuck in Flex, we just can't get into normal mode, and be like, hey, there's this guy giving advice over here, why don't you check out this video, he can explain a little bit more, and then hit him up over in these areas. So again, there's people out there, and I'll be out there too, getting the word out as much as I can in my followers and my Twitch and all those other places that I do so. But yeah, I'm really excited about doing this and hopeful that it grows and hopeful that, we can help some people. So yeah, let's do this. Raid Doctors. Maybe we'll have a website eventually. Maybe there's already one in the description because this grew and blew up so much and you're watching this 2 years later and going, I remember when they started this. Hey, who knows? You gotta throw some ideas out there. You gotta try some stuff. And here I am. More in the present moment. I'm going on vacation in a little bit. I'm gonna have... This is obviously episode 32, which is more like of an announcement and talking about this, and I'll close it out and hear it in a little bit. But episode 33 will probably be that deep dive, in-depth look on Heroic Garrosh from my hunter's perspective. Again, so happy for that to be done. So happy to be done with a tier. I know I downed Heroic Deathwing, but that was like 30% nerf or whatever, so GG. I don't know. Certainly it was pretty rough, I'd have to say. But I feel like this one was pretty... I feel pretty epic at this point. Obviously, fresh off of it for a couple days later. And of course, I'll be getting a guide up as soon as I can write it all up and record and blah, blah, blah. As usual, all the stuff that you normally expect from me. And of course, beta footage. I have a guide on Upper Blackrock Spire out right now. That's a level 100 normal mode dungeon. Pretty neat. Got through it all. There's not too many guides out there for that dungeon at this point, so check that out too. And of course, subscribe on the channel, all that other jazz. But yeah, just have vacation coming up. I'm starting this whole Raid Doctors effort, and of course, I will be reading comments, and if you start sending me private messages at TankSpot or Catalyst Gaming Media, I will start reading them and responding to them as quickly as I can. But yeah, what do you guys think of the whole idea? If you have some more advice and structure behind it, again, long term and like to set up forums and sites, websites maybe, and be able to show people how advice happens or frequently asked questions, or just all of that is possible at some point. But I want to start here. Send me a private message, Pallie, Pallie, on TankSpot, or GitErRaid at catalystgamingmedia.com, GitErRaid at catalystgamingmedia.com. Of course, as usual, you can hit me up on Twitter, but that's not really a good forum for asking me lengthy questions about your raid. But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Am I nuts? Am I looking at this going, yeah, there's no way. There's no way. No, I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful that I can get this out there. And again, appreciate some marketing, some help from you guys to get that out there. And of course, if you want to volunteer to help and assist with overflow, or if I have a question about, I don't know, mages or warlocks, or I don't know, whatever down the road. And of course, heading into Warlords of Draenor, it will be a little easier for me to speak from a raid format perspective. So what I mean by that is, right now, I'm in a 25-man guild. I was previously in a 10-man guild for about half of this tier in the heroic sense of this tier. And so I could speak to both sides and how things went for fights and all that other kind of stuff, for the most part, for all fights. So again, right now, if you're going through Siege of Orgrimmar, as plenty of people are still doing, it's not, tier isn't over. People aren't all done with it. It's still out there. If you're doing that, I have many advices for you. So submit your questions and submit your discussions and videos and whatever else you've got, and get that going. And if you want to help out, we'll see how things turn out. We'll see how big this is. Hope it can be. I think it'll be awesome. I'm really excited. I've said that a couple times, but I am. So anywho, this is episode number 32, Overrated, talking about Raid Doctors, new service from your pal Pallie. And as always, comment, like, subscribe to the video if you found it helpful. Hit me up at TankSpot. My username over there is Pallie, Pallie, or at catalystgamingmedia.com. GitErRaid is my username there. I'll put all that stuff in the description. There may be even more stuff in the description about where Raid Doctors is, or conducting business, or whatever. I don't know. Yes. Free raid advice, Raid Doctors. Let's do it. Let's do it. Alright guys, that should be it for now. Again, next episode should be the, as promised, deep dive of Heroic Garrosh, my hunter stuff. So much to talk about there. But anyway, thanks guys for watching, and have a good one.